and let's get going. Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another fine episode of Coaching the Many. You're joined here by Twitch chat. This is going to be a bit of a different Coaching the Many. We're going to look at two VODs that this person sent in. Hopefully, I don't spend too long on the first one. It's always a bit of a risk, but the second VOD, I wanted to look at it, but it's sort of very much the same thing happening over and over and over again, and you might be able to judge from the title that this is a focus on one trick, specifically a Symmetra one trick. I think this is actually technically from the end of last season, but since the end of Season 4, I was playing Symmetra one trick on purpose to try and get better with her. I thought about sending one of them your way, see if you find anything worth dissecting in for your audience. Not sure whether you prefer matches where I play my best and my worst. I'm sending two, and I'll let you judge what you think is better. And you might notice also in the background that we're starting on Lijiang Tower, which is typically not a Symmetra map. King of the Hill with Symmetra is very one-sided as far as, you know, how it usually works. You usually either take the point and then you just establish your defensive lineup, get your shield generator set up, or get a teleporter set up at a crucial moment, get your turrets in place, and once you're set up and entrenched, then you are actually extremely powerful. The weakness, of course, is that if that doesn't happen, you can get overwhelmed, you can get killed, you can get destroyed. The guy we're going to be looking at, I believe, is Nibelung. I believe is German for something, but I'm not sure what. And we're going to be talking a lot about sort of Symmetra basics, Symmetra ideas. It's kind of interesting to me, the idea, like, let's get rid of Twitch chat. Bye, Twitch chat. Let's hit play. About the idea of playing like a Symmetra one trick to try and improve on Symmetra. Because to me, Symmetra is very much a knowledge-based hero, not so much an execution-based hero. There is a couple of things that you want to execute properly with her, but in general, it's all fairly straightforward, right? Like, she doesn't have in-depth mechanics in terms of, oh, you got to really aim, fine-tune your aim, and really get that spot on. You just generally got to know, where do you place your turrets, how do you place your turrets, what are traps when you're placing your turrets as well, so like mistakes people make. Luckily, these are a lot less punishing than they used to be, but sort of how do you approach that? First thing this person does is moderately gimmicky, which is the Symmetra ball, which is basically you can put turrets onto these basketballs. The weakness of this is that if any of the turrets collide with the floor, so if the basketball bounces in such a way where it hits the floor, the turrets get destroyed. So very rare that it actually ends up working. It's also just easy, like for someone with a good bit of splash damage or spread damage, just to shoot at it and blow it away, take it all out. But it can be effective. You just got to be very careful. As you see, it hits the wall, and then it's just instantly sort of losing integrity already. Sound is a little bit funky on the VOD as well, so I'm going to keep it relatively quiet in the background. Yeah, it bounces, and then like the enemy team, I think, just shoots vaguely in its direction, and it doesn't get anything done. First things first that I noticed when watching this, like if we're going to talk about Symmetra, one of the more powerful things that Symmetra can bring to a team now is this barrier. It's actually a very, very powerful little tool. It's a godsend when you're playing Reinhardt. Like if you play Reinhardt and you are playing on a defense, and you have the Symmetra shields coming out in front of you, your shield lasts so much longer. It's just like playing with a diva, but it's just like it's like a diva that can just keep on going and keep on going. It actually buys you a lot of time and a lot of ground as well. So I was very surprised to see that, like, why aren't we throwing like the shield out? It's on actually a relatively low cooldown as well. You could just push it forward this way, you could push it forward this way, whatever direction your team wants to push in, you can normally go for it. Honestly, I would also have been happier just if the team, instead of coming this route where it's nice and open, you know, you've got the Symmetra, leverage it. Symmetra is extremely good in corridors, so why not just go the standard route for this map, which is to go up the stairs here. So you just got the stairs there, and then you just contest the sort of the middle ground, not really the high ground, I suppose. You contest that, you fight through that, and you can generally get the advantage for it. The one concern I would have is be very careful with your right click. So if you're coming up here, I would honestly say that you fire your first right click and aim intentionally off to the side or off to somewhere not directly at the enemy team, because if they have a Genji and Genji deflects it, it could really cut through your team and do a lot of damage, so be very careful about that. Otherwise, like, I would say be very aggressive with these shields, especially in this position. The idea here is that we want to take control of the point as best we can. We want to get onto the point, we want to be fighting in close range, because Symmetra kind of weak, medium, long range. Like, we're not a medium, long range hero, so we want to be getting into them as best we can. To do that, we need to use this barrier to sort of advance forward, and for our team to advance forward. Stuff like this Roadhog can also push forward, makes him stronger. He gets a lucky pick there, and now that we can actually get onto the point, we can actually start doing quite a lot. We can put turrets down over here, for example, so just dropping a couple of these turrets around wouldn't be too bad of an idea as well, I think. just to, like, while we're not actually doing anything active in the fight, just putting a turret or two down. If the Genji or something wants to dive in on the enemy team, or if they go aggressive, then that's suddenly going to start causing problems for them. The Genji in particular, I think, is going to have issues. And when we get to this situation, I thought that this was sort of getting greedy, especially once your Reinhardt peels back, taking on these two tanks. If this Reinhardt just sort of grew a pair and just started smashing you, you would die here. Like, you get extremely lucky that the Reinhardt doesn't just turn around and kill you. Symmetra versus Reinhardt, the only sort of saving grace is that your range, once you connect with the Symmetra beam, if you aren't aware, Symmetra beam is 7 meters long. Once you are connected, it breaks at 10 meters, so it's got like an elasticity to it. So once it's connected, you will generally stay connected. It's why it feels like Symmetra is inescapable, because once she latches on, you have to move a further 3 meters back. You notice he jumped back a little bit there. Now he sort of realized, oh, if I just close in and smack her, then I can actually just win this. He just has to hit you 3 times. It's not actually that difficult. Now that we're in the back line, now we are just doing 120 DPS, no problem killing absolutely everything. What should have realistically happened here is that the Roadhog and Reinhardt, like these two, just kill you. To me, the sane solution here is just Reinhardt. Either Roadhog just kills you here, or Reinhardt just smacks you to death. Honestly, I think that, especially at this level, which is about gold, about 1.6k, the Reinhardt would have just been way better served just smacking you to death. Or just smacking you just to put the damage on, because if he doesn't do that, and then the Roadhog buggers off, he's just going to lose. Like, there's nothing he can do there. And so we get very lucky here. If he did start doing that, or if he did show signs of aggression when you were here, I'd just say pull back and just take control of the point. Just get some turrets down across the point, like around the back of this thing, for example, and just out of line of sight of the enemy team, so that if they do try and contest the point, if Lucio just jumps on it, he's going to get slowed, he's going to get damage done to him, he's going to have a hard time just doing anything. And just secures you the point, will still get you your ultimate nice and fast, and once you have this, it's actually very difficult to displace Symmetra. Like, these turrets, I don't mind, they're just going to slow down anyone coming in to reinforce, but now is when we should be peeling back trying to get the shield gen out, and team's clearly having a hard time clearing whatever it is on the point, so we're actually very good at clearing that as well. It's honestly surprising to me that, you know, it took that long. The fire on this guy, we should not be bothering with that. We should be going and finding a place for a shield generator. It's a little bit tricky. I'd say back here isn't too bad. Around the corner, it wouldn't be too remiss. I don't like it out here. I actually like it less out here than I do like it over here. If it's over here, it's actually, like, if you think about where people can shoot this, they have to be pushing, like, all the way towards our spawn to be able to actually push this. Because what you can do is you can put, like, let's just say 3 turrets here, or 2 turrets there, and 1 turret, like, over here, for example. So if anyone actually goes up and over, they're gonna just get killed by 3 turrets. I did an experiment with a friend of mine quite a while ago, just to sort of test Symmetra turret DPS, and what we found was usually 3 turrets is enough to kill people. 2 turrets is not enough. 2 turrets usually people have enough time to react to it and clear them off. 3 turrets is usually enough time to do enough damage to either put them dangerously low or to start killing people. 1 turret is just annoying but doesn't really do much. 4 turrets will do a lot more. 5 turrets is insane. 6 turrets will kill people extremely quickly. But committing all 6 turrets to just defending the shield generator when you could just do it with kind of 3 is okay. The big advantage of having it around here as well is if anyone's, like, if the fire, for example, is floating around up above, then she's fighting on the point where most of our team is going to be fighting. We have an advantage fighting near it, so we're stronger there. It seems harder to attack this than when it's out here, where if people just sort of, someone just takes the time, goes up and round, and this is very much worth doing for, like, their Genji, for example. If he just goes over here and just stands up here, he can shoot it, and there's no way you can put turrets to cover that. So he has an easy angle to get in on it. Be very much worthwhile the Genji doing that, so I'm curious to see how it goes with this first shield generator. But otherwise, like, while we're in this situation now, the advantage is clearly swung to the Symmetra side. Symmetra, I did a video on this ages ago and I called it the Magikarp problem, which is that Symmetra, because her ultimate is permanent, has a very, very interesting power curve. So let's talk about the power curve very quickly. So Symmetra, unlike normal heroes, this is an abstract concept called power, sort of your ability to influence and change the game, and this is time. Okay? I like my graphs. And you start out about here, and then you put your shield generator down, and the power just, like, shoots up, and then it just stays up as long as that thing stays up. So Symmetra's curve is kind of unique. It's a teleporter. She put down a teleporter. Why did you put down a teleporter? Why is there a teleporter? That's a teleporter, that's not a shield generator. I literally just assumed that it was going to be a shield generator because that's the only sane thing in my mind. We'll talk about that in a second then. Assuming it's a shield generator, which is what it probably should be. Let me finish this point and then I'll address why that should be a shield generator. So this is Symmetra's power curve, right? So we just call this SYM. I probably should have done that in blue. Most other heroes will start out actually a lot more powerful than Symmetra. So they start more up here, but then their power curve sort of does this, and they go up, and then they'll sort of hit this. And their ultimate's nearly as good, but not quite, and then it will drop back down again after they lose their ultimate, and then it'll do this, then it'll do this, then it'll do this. And so you get this sort of result where Symmetra, as she can just keep whatever her resources up, teleporter or shield generator, it sort of applies for both. Teleporter sort of has a bit of a, like it will drop and then it will come back up. This is very, very powerful. Symmetra Ultimate is extremely good. Teleporter is like a res that it works on individuals. So it basically cuts about 10 seconds or 10-15 seconds of people's respawn times, which is incredibly powerful. It's like having a mini resurrect available for each individual for 6 people. That's very, very, very good. Shield Generator is providing a constant regenerating 75 shields on everyone, which is fucking insane and really strong. Like, it makes your team so much better. It increases everyone's time to kill markedly. Quick drink. A bug in my throat, clearly. But it increases everyone's time to kill by like quite a big margin. It puts a lot of people above a danger threshold as well. So, for example, Hanzo becomes a lot less effective because he has a much harder time one-shotting. McCree takes a lot more shots to kill. Soldier takes a lot more shots to kill. Even Farah, for example, 2 rockets direct hit will normally kill people. Now it takes 3, for example, and it just really puts a big burden on the enemy team until they clear it off. It's a huge, huge swing in terms of power and influence. So it's very, very crucial that, you know, that shield generator is up for a long time. When it goes down, though, Symmetra is weaker than most heroes. She is only effective at a sort of a single range. Her orbs aren't that, like, they're good, but they're not amazing at sort of long range. She's just generally quite sloppy until she can get into close range when she is extremely powerful. But that's sort of all she can do. And if your team reacts to that appropriately, I call this sort of the Symmetra panic syndrome, where Symmetra gets in close range and people just suddenly panic and start missing all their shots. If you instead just treat her like a normal hero and just kill the shit out of her, you will normally win the fight in a 1 versus 1. It's when she's charged up and doing like it takes 3 seconds to full charge, and then she will start killing everyone. But even then, if you just calm down, treat her like a normal hero, don't panic, just kill her, it works extremely well. And I call it the Magikarp problem because it's like having a Magikarp in Pokemon, right? Where you have this weak thing that's a little bit floundery until it can get this powerful boost to it, and then it just stays incredibly strong, which is the Gyarados evolution. So she becomes a Gyarados once this is sort of active. Let's talk about the shield generator teleport problem. So when you are putting down a teleporter, especially in a game mode like King of the Hill, what generally happens in team fights is people will reinforce 1 by 1. So when people die, it's, especially at this sort of level, people are dying 1 by 1. And so as they're dying, they're going to be coming back into the fight 1 by 1. And if the enemy team is playing it properly and actually just legitimately winning the fight, this drip and drab will basically just force a trickling in of people just coming in 1 by 1, slowly losing. And it can actually sort of stall your team out. And so the question that it raises for me is more that, you know, if you're the teleporter can win you back the fight if no one reacts to it, or if your team sort of manages to claw on, like their team doesn't clear the point effectively, their team isn't fighting well, they don't re-clear the point so that people can come back in, you just manage to keep hold of the point for long enough. But would you even lose this with the shield generator in the first place? Sort of the big question. It should always be on the back of your mind. Considering the shield generator's range, and hey, Reinhardt grew a pair. Feels good, man. Yeah. I don't know. It's very, very hard to shift people off when they have a shield generator. It's very, very difficult to lose fights. And especially if you have a shield generator and you just put turrets up around the point, they can't get onto the point, they can't clear it. That Farah should be killing your teleporter, by the way. And yeah, it's kind of silly to me. Your team even wins this, but that's more their team coming in drips and drabs. Your team commits a lot of ultimates to it, though, and this is also the disadvantage of a teleporter when you end up in this kind of situation. It'll be especially bad if you end up with just 1 charge left. This is honestly, to me, one of the big weaknesses. Is situations like this when you're playing Symmetra, where you have two teleporters, or two teleports, or one teleport just left on it, and you can't cancel it or refund it. We get a little bit lucky here in that we are the last one to use it, but honestly, if people are, like, if there's 1 or 2 charges left, the best tip I can give you is just tell people to use it. Like, it doesn't matter if there's no fight happening, doesn't matter if they can get back quickly. If there's only 1 charge left on the teleporter, for the love of God, please use it. Because the worst thing that can happen then is that they get a clean teamfight win. They win 6, like, they win cleanly, they kill everyone, and then only 1 person can take the teleporter, because then it just might as well not exist. Because then that person just goes in on their own, they'll die, and that's really, really shitty. Honestly, one of the biggest sort of quality of life buffs they can give to Symmetra is the ability to clear off her teleporter, or just, like, refund it. This is dirty, and the Genji should not have fallen for that. Like, it's blatantly obvious. And this feels more like their team's just failing, and is now just falling for a painfully obvious trap that they shouldn't be falling for, and this is punishing ignorance. This should not be happening. This hurts to watch. People struggle with basic learning, I guess. What the hell? So, how do you beat this? How do you beat this, guys? Well, first things first, the Genji, who's come through and just died, he should realize, there's a Symmetra there camping that. That's a problem. The thing I shouldn't do is try and slow walk through it, because that's never going to work. So how do you actually beat this? Well, the Junkrat, for example, could have spotted that, hey, people are dying here and there's a Symmetra hanging around. If he just throws the concussive mine through and detonates it, especially if he does it nearer to one of the walls, he can clear up a couple of the turrets. But honestly, the best person to clear this is the Genji, and what you do is you just dash, and then you back away and just clear off as many turrets as you can. Ignore the Symmetra will probably kill you, but clear off the turrets, let other people push in. Once the turrets are cleared, she'll have a hard time refunding them, even though they are building up relatively quickly. She'll only have 1 left because she's just put down all 6, so therefore you can actually push in. The other thing you can do is also, there's another entrance. There's another 2 possible entrances actually for Genji. So there are 2 options here. You can either just also go up this way. So there's a staircase up here that leads around the side. Genji can also jump around to the balcony over this side and then just clear all of these, no problem. The weakness of this sort of positioning is that once it is cleared, you have no more turrets, and then the enemy team will just advance on you, kill you. Like, it's very difficult then if they just play long range, and you won't be able to do anything. It's very, very stupid to me that Junkrat even tries to push through this, because like I said before, 6 turrets kills people extremely fast. Reinhardt does a good job, but there's nothing really here to clean it. Junkrat really has to sort of motor on cleaning it. This is the Reinhardt that should have existed a while ago. The fact that he's still, like, desperately pushing in without picking up the health pack is alarming to me. Guys, if you just push through and you've engaged, there is a large health pack just over this way. It will provide you with some lovely healing. And they did backcap, like somehow your team has lost the point. I don't know how that's happened, but it's also happened. So this game is a bit of a cluster loving. It looks like they managed to pull it back though. Ha! That was very silly. Hashtag just silver things. Like, I understand why Symmetra is extremely frustrating for people. But it's insane to me that he's, like, this much of an issue. To me, it's a matter of keeping your cool, understanding her limitations, which is that... Oh, Jesus Christ. Hello, Ryan. Welcome. A little bit of Dosh spam in the chat if you have a Dosh available to you, otherwise just some hype would be fine for Ryan, good friend of the stream. Thank you, Ryan. That is a... Oh no. Good job, Ryan. How long is this going to go for? There we go. Thank you, Ryan, for your wonderful contribution. Of course, thank you for the support. Thank you for your love as well for the long time. I like this choice going around the back. Symmetra going around the front side would not work well at all. It's a big open space, we're not strong there. Hello, Golden Gun Reaper. Fun fact about Reaper, if he lands his shots, he'll win the 1v1. If he misses his shots, he'll lose it pretty resoundingly. And so the best way to do it is crouch spam. You sort of go left and right and just crouch spam, because you'd be surprised how often Reapers will generally just aim sort of center mass. So if you're crouching, it's very rare. You'll either put your head in their crosshair and give them a free kill, or they'll just completely whiff their shots. And they mostly just completely whiff the shots. The idea with Symmetra as well, in 1v1s, is you're trying to get this to full charge. So like the first 2 seconds, just they're completely throwaway in terms of actual damage, because the next 1 second will make up for that damage, because it basically her damage doubles every second until 3 seconds have passed. So it goes 30, 60, 120. So once you start doing that 120 damage, you are instantly overriding FPS you've done. So the idea is to just try and get that as quickly as possible. Once you have built to 120, then you can just start going hungry for. Otherwise, just focus on pure evasion for a while. I think this is a little bit greedy. That could have been very easily punished, and honestly, you've already kind of done your job. Your first priority here is, okay, build up your ultimate. Best way to do that is to get turrets on the point. You can put a couple of turrets down here. You can put 2 down here, for example, where we know Reaper's going to have to walk through. He's going to have to walk through as well, because he's used Wraith form. Roadhog's already chasing this guy. Like, we don't need to be doing this. We can go and be securing the point and worrying about fighting on the point, and doing all of that good jazz. So, I would say, yeah. I think this is a bit greedy and a bit of a waste of our time, to be honest. If the Reaper had earned those golden guns, had justified them, that would have worked better. This is stupid. This is really greedy. And I'll tell you why. So right now, if you think about sort of the logistics of where our team's going, imagine the point is the circle, this is the bridge, this is sort of the back area with the health pack, this is the thing here, these are the side parts up here, the 2 bridges, and then you've got like the main courtyard. Okay? So this is Lijiang Tower, and then this is where we are. We are over here. We know Roadhog is somewhere around here. The rest of our team, probably 4 people fighting on the point. We know that we've killed one of them. We managed to kill their Reaper, so they have 1 dead, so they've got 1 coming from spawn. The other 5 of them, for all we know, could be here. 1, 2, 3. 5 versus 4 is not good odds. 5 versus 4 is not good odds at all. So what could be happening behind you right now is that, sure, you kill the Reaper, and I know that the kill feed does show that the Genji also got killed, but just disregarding that, pretending that this is a good team, because we want coaching to be applicable to multiple games, not just one. Pretending that it's a good team, and they actually didn't throw someone away, or like this Reinhardt starts going off, for example, or this Genji starts going off, for example. I know, he looks like got the kill at the same time, I guess, or, you know, something happens and then they start just snowballing, like their Reinhardt starts getting kills or whatever. We are currently not there. Roadhog's currently out of position because you both hunted down this Reaper. It's very possible that you lose the fight on the point here. And then what ends up happening is, sure, you can shut down maybe 1 or 2 people here, but honestly, if they just walk out the other side, then they can just get past this and kill you. You are not building ultimate charge at the moment, which is sort of our highest priority, and you are not doing anything but zoning the occasional bit of DPS, but you could be costing your team the game. And gimmicky shit like this is part of why Symmetra 1 tricks can be absolutely hated. Can be absolutely loathed. And I've just looked over and seen that this is apparently a vagina. No, I've heard seen some people say that this is also a womb. Guessing if these are the ovaries, then maybe cervix, vagina. Could be, I guess. It's Lijiang Tower, guys. Don't read too much into it. There's better looking vaginas on the internet if you want to go and look at those instead of looking at this. Anyway, I've been getting distracted by chat. Thank you, chat. But this is why Symmetra 1 tricks can be loathed, because they do gimmicky shit like this. Which is that, like, getting into position and putting down these cute turrets. If you win, sure, great, you can lock them down. But honestly, against a good team as well, what they'll do is they'll just wait and spawn. They'll see the Symmetra by their doorway. They'll understand that Symmetra's probably put turrets down. Or the Reaper will poke his nose out and then Wraith form away without caring too much. Hey, people on.
One amongst the many.
Josh,
I see you in chat, and hello, Matty.
Let me see the domacy.
Oh god, that's disturbing. Thank you for the donation. Let me double check your name so I got it right. There you are, Matty8989. Thank you, Matty. But this to me is like, is a throwing move. Like, against a better team, you will get very little results out of this. And yeah, I don't like. This is sort of an idea of, hey, it worked last time, but if they fall for it twice, then sure. To quote the great United States President, George W. Jr., I guess. He fooled me once. shame on me. You fool me. You fool me twice. You fool me once, you can't get fooled again. Brilliant quote. Very articulate man. Great leader. But basically, yeah, it's like, and I've seen in chat like, oh, I was trying to get ult charge because I knew Reaper would come through soon. Like, there's a feast of ultimate charge. There's 4 people you can go and kill on the point, and like this point is actually really nice for Symmetra to fight on. Got a nice bit of cover in the middle that you can play around with. If you come in this way and they come in the other way, you can put turrets around the back of it and just cover the back in turrets, so when they do start pushing around, they're just going to get attacked. You have lots and lots of places you can fall back to if you're a little bit worried, so you can hide away. You have so much space to play with in here. It just seems pointlessly greedy. And you're just sort of asking for like their Pharaoh to just fly up and just shoot 1 rocket and clear it, not get anything done. Now, are we doing a shield gen or a teleporter? This is crucial. This is feeling like a teleporter to me. Oh, it's a shield gen? Is it going in a... Okay. We're a little bit lazy with the positioning. This could be better. Just put it all the way over here. You want it reaching as far as you can towards the point. I think if you put it here, it will reach and cover the point. And so you just want it extending as far over as you can. This, to me, is like, oh my god, they're taking the point, but honestly, like, think of this as just healing everyone suddenly for 75 health. Put it over here. Worth doing. There's very little better to do with your time. Before I get to kill. How are our turrets doing? Let's see. Where's the... Yeah, so I think they're all dead. So yeah, they just cleared it. No issue. Hopefully, their team doesn't panic. They just kill you here. They have done. But we're okay. Like, honestly, especially if their Mei uses Blizzard here as well, that's fine. Yeah, the Mei's use Blizzard. I'm guessing that's Graviton. No, that's Barrage. Okay. They've used Barrage, they've used Blizzard. This is fine. Like, you guys are actually winning. Someone swaps to Bastion, feels bad, man. Guessing that's to deal with the Diva, to deal with the Pharah, because Pharah seems to be causing problems. You guys have a shield generated. I would not be too worried about over-engaging here. The Pharah should be clearing the point, to be honest. Should really not be worried about us. The fact that the point has not been taken is just a huge failure by their team. I think we are doing the right thing by just dragging this out all the further. Notice how hard of a time it is for Pharah to kill us. It's worth mentioning this. Like, this is the power of the shield generator as we're going in. 1 rocket into the barrier, 1 just sort of slips past, so... 1 rocket hit, 2 rockets, sort of a bit of splash, bit of incidental, 3 rocket, direct hit, 4th rocket, doesn't quite do it. It's very hard for them to finish this off. Zarya completely whiffs her tracking, and then Lucio, I think, is here to support us now, and we start taking the point again. This is silly. They had a lever. Oh, Jesus. So if someone leaves as well, feels bad, man. This is part of why we're also doing both games. Both of the games that were sent in. They use a lot of ultimates. They should be able to take the point. Even without the lever, like the Pharah should have just focused on clearing the point and just capping the point before dealing with respawns. Got greedy. Very easy for us to punish. Notice that the shield generator is still fine. I will mention this if you are on the other team. Like, if the other team doesn't deal with the shield generator, it's very worth, like, the Genji, for example, or just any mobile DPS peeling away and going and finding it. It is absolutely worth your time. Because you are basically dealing... By killing the shield generator, you are dealing 75 damage to everyone the shield generator is affecting, which is usually 6 people, which is 600 hit points. Regenerating hit points. Important to do. Otherwise, we're just going to zip through this last one. Again, primary objective should be, honestly, again, this to me is just ridiculously greedy against a better team. This is the more predicted result, and honestly, you are lucky to get a 3rd charge. Like, this is just ridiculously greedy. We should be going onto the point, taking control of the point, getting turrets up, and making sure that they have to push into something that they don't want to push into. Not running into the enemy team and dying, because that's just... That will stop working at a certain point, and when it does stop working, you will just die every time, and then you're just feeding the enemy team. Which is not good. And again, this is greedy. This is where, like, their team, if it was a full 6, should have an advantage at the moment. because they killed you, and then they can just go and kill everyone else, and they should be able to win off the back of this. It's ridiculously greedy. What did we do? We did telly. Really don't like that, especially against the far right. It's just so out in the open. Part of the weakness of that as well is that the far right can just come all the way around here. Better places for it would be more tucked towards our spawn. Out here, it's just very vulnerable to what they can do. So what, like, imagine that this half was sort of our half. Putting a shield generator over here, for example, is not necessarily a bad idea. You can also, if you are like feeling very vulnerable, you can also put it up in the room up here, above the spawn. Or like up here, I guess. That will actually cover a bunch of the spawn. But I'd say like here is generally the safest spot. Just because it's very difficult for them to sort of go all the way around and get to it without you noticing. You can put some turrets up, like here, 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 for example, and you can even just put a fourth one here and just cover this, and then you're just completely safe on the point. You can fight around in the main courtyard all you want, all that kind of stuff. Their team is clearly thrown in the towel. I'm guessing they're frustrating and tilting. And so this is just basically going to be standing on the point and winning for the rest of it. This is why I brought out 2 games. This is going to be Symmetra in a nutshell as well. We'll have complete stomps, but you'll also have the other game. I'm going to go to now.